Yes, how are you, my friend? I hope things are going good for you. Okay, I love to go to the farmer's market. The problem with going to the farmer's market is I typically only go once a week. And I buy tons of fruits and vegetables for my family. And typically, if I only go once a week, the fruits and veggies are usually only good through maybe Sunday or Monday, and then we have to throw it away. So I always like trying to learn, different ways to keep fruits and veggies longer, how to space them out. I know the farmer's market is not the only place that has good organic fruits and veggies. Costco has a great selection. Aldi has a good selection. I know, April, I said it. I said Aldi. Whole Foods, Sprouts, they both, all of them. They have great selection of organic foods. But I always feel like I throw a ton away. So I always try and learn different ways to keep my fruits and veggies as long as I can and as crisp as I can and as good as I can with the most nutrients. So I just wanted to share a couple, just like 10 tips that I found to help keep fruits and veggies a little bit longer. Okay, when you get vegetables, you can steam them within the first day or two and keep them in the fridge and then just reheat them. They typically taste just as good. I'll do that a lot with asparagus. Asparagus kind of has a little longer shelf life, but I will usually steam it within the first day or two of having it and then keep it in the fridge. I love asparagus cold. Okay, number 2, store all your root vegetables in a cool, dark place, but not necessarily in the fridge. So those are your squash and your beets, even your carrots. They don't need to be in the refrigerator. You just don't want to peel them until right before you eat. Okay, 3, berries. It's not a good idea to wash your berries until right before you eat them. But if you do need to wash them and you'll nibble on them, we always have raspberries and blueberries and strawberries at our house. Rinse them in a tiny bit or a big thing of water with a little bit of vinegar, and then lay them on a paper towel and put them in your fridge, and they're going to last a lot longer. And make sure to throw away any of the moldy ones. Okay, leafy vegetables, wrap them in a loose, damp paper towel and put them in your crisper. You don't want to keep them in the plastic, especially if you're buying heads of lettuce, heads of romaine, anything like that. Rinse them and then wrap them in a cool, damp paper towel. Okay, apples. Okay, 5 things that need to be on your counter, not in your fridge. Apples, citrus fruits, potatoes, onions, avocados, and tomatoes. Okay, that's 6. Sorry, that's 6. Those all just can live on your countertop. They don't need to go into the refrigerator. I think that's one of those things that my mom used to keep tomatoes in the fridge, and it would always make them a little pithy. So they just need to stay on the counter. Also, keep your apples kind of separate. Apples give off a gas, which helps things kind of oh, my husband just walked in. It threw off my thought. Apples give off a gas that will ripen fruits and other vegetables quicker. So you want to kind of keep your apples farther away unless you want them to ripen something. So if you have an avocado that's not very ripe, put it in a brown paper bag with an apple and it'll ripen it a little bit quicker. Okay, meats. If you buy meats, organic meats at the farmer's market or even at the grocery store, you can freeze them right away and then take them out and thaw them right before you're going to eat them. You just don't want to let them sit in the fridge for a couple days and then cook them. Go ahead, throw them in the freezer, freeze them up real quick, and then take it out a day ahead of time. Okay, mushrooms. Never wash mushrooms until right before you're going to use them. That'll create slime and they will get bacteria on them and kind of mold very quickly. So mushrooms, keep them dry until you're just about to use them. Even open up the plastic. If you buy them in a plastic container, if you don't buy bulk, if you buy the prepackaged ones, just open it up and let them be dry. Don't get them wet until right before you use them. All right, asparagus. We love asparagus. We eat a lot of asparagus at our house. Make sure that you store the asparagus standing up and take a wet paper towel again and place it on the bottom ends of the asparagus. You can even put a wet paper towel in a bowl and then store the asparagus in a bowl standing up. All right, I lost count. I'm not counting. Is anyone counting? Because I'm not counting. All right, hey Debbie, how are you? All right, kale. If you like kale, just make sure that you don't wash it or cut it until right before you're going to eat it. It's just one of those things, even if it's a little dusty and dirty, just leave it the way it is until right before you're going to eat it. If you do eat kale, you know, sometimes you have to do a little bit of maneuvering with the food, so you got to squeeze it and, what do they call it, massage the kale or chop it up really fine. Just don't do it until right before you're going to eat it. Okay, there are 5 things at our house that we tend to buy and freeze quite a bit. So bananas, we like bananas, but we don't always eat them right away. So you can just take the peel off, throw it in the freezer. They're great for banana bread or smoothies. Same thing with avocados. We buy avocados in bulk sometimes at Costco and we don't go through them. So I'll peel them and I'll chop them and I'll put them in the freezer. Again, they're great for smoothies or guacamole. Berries, if we don't go through the berries, that's very rare. But if we don't go through berries, or if there's a great sale on berries, I will wash them, put them on a paper towel, and then freeze them and then save them that way. Mangoes, and then ginger. I use ginger in smoothies sometimes. So ginger is one of those things that you can freeze it up to 6 months and then just use a grater and grate it a little bit. Okay, and then this was a fun tip that I didn't know about, is take a pineapple. If you buy pineapple whole, usually can get them a pretty good price. Put it upside down in your refrigerator